What's your call?
7 o'clock, we called meeting to order. President's Alan Hobbs from the Commissioners, myself, Christina Carr, Ashley Springer, Nicole Bocek, and Gail Partain.
Yeah. All right.
So I guess the date of the next meeting,
Yes, so that's one of the things I just wanted to confirm, just because summers are always interesting. The next meeting will be August 6th, so I just wanted to note that for everybody, and make sure that we have a quorum for the next meeting. So if you are on vacation or something like that, let us know.
And there's a lot of new faces on the board.
Yeah.
Normally, August, we don't have a meeting.
Yeah, so that's.
I'm just giving you a heads up,
Right.
because vacations,
Yeah.
school's getting ready to start, families are gone, busy.
Yeah.
And I don't think we have anything heavy on the agenda.
Yeah, we have nothing
It's
yet.
just to give you a heads up on that, so.
But I just want to throw it out there in case, if there is something that comes up or something like that, like in this case, we had people who requested something, if that comes up, who's available and who's not, and then we can set the schedule appropriately. Okay? All right.
all right, any other announcements before you get started?
No? All right.
All right. Citizens' comments on agenda items.
So we don't have, only the applicants, so to speak, for the tree planting club are the only residents here. There's nobody online at the moment, so there is no comments at this time.
And we'll do the approval of last month's minutes. Has everybody looked them over?
I did.
Or else?
Yes, I did.
All right. Somebody want to make a motion?
I move to approve the minutes.
Second? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Approved 6-0.
Perfect. Okay. Then, if you guys want to come up and sit at the, whoever wants to speak first, or however you guys want to speak, sit at the microphone there, and then state your name and address and that kind of stuff.
So my name and address?
Yep. Mm-hmm. You can all come up if you want.
Would it be okay to pull up a third chair?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Hi, my name is Hannah. I live on 15521 Ambiance Drive, North Potomac. Good evening, everyone. First, I just want to say thank you for carving out a piece of your time to listen to us. So my name is Hannah, as I said, and these are my two officers, Natalie Martin and Jaden McKeedy. We are rising juniors at Poolesville High School, which is right down our street, and we've come here today to speak to you guys about a club we've created called Tree Plenish. Our mission is to encourage more students to care about environmental sustainability, and our purpose would be to plant trees in our community in order to match the number of papers that are used at our high school. So we've come here today to speak with you guys and see if it'd be possible to partner with you, how we can involve you in our mission and our plans, because we do know that there's certain processes that are needed in order to plant these type of things in the community. So I guess we're here to ask the question if that's possible, and if so, how do we move forward?
Right. So, do you guys have any questions? I'll just say a couple of things first.
Well,
Yeah.
just how would that work?
Right. So there's a couple of different things. One, if you want to plant trees on private property, you are free to do so. There's certain requirements. There's certain places where you can't for a variety of environmental reasons and safety reasons and things like that. But outside of those specific conditions, private property you can. The town maintains the trees in the right-of-way. Preston and his crew plant the trees, they remove the trees, they trim the trees in the right-of-way. If you're interested in donating trees and this is partially from our side of what you plan to do. Is it you acquiring trees? What is actually the group's purpose in terms of how it will fulfill planting trees?
Right.
That's something you can work on as well. We plant trees every year in the town. And so if you're interested in helping to donate to that project or things like that, that would be another way you can you can work with us to do those type of things. Because in public areas, for the most part, the planting of trees, that is done by the town, but you can work with that.
One other thing, we would encourage the use of native trees, not invasive.
Yeah.
Of course. I do think that like we'd be interested in like doing that type of thing where we donate trees, but I think we were more looking to do like more hands-on, where like we're also planting the trees as well with like other volunteers, and like we were looking to fundraise at school and raise that money and possibly partner with other organizations that could donate trees to us so that we could do the hands-on work and actually plant the trees ourselves.
Okay, just on a side note, we are a tree town. You said, right up there, we're a tree city USA. So we've always been pro-tree. We also work with the local elementary school, middle school. We've planted trees on both those properties. So they're very open to having trees planted. So that's a good resource. They have a lot of area that you can plant in. We are actually running out of area to plant trees, so we don't have a giant amount. One thing we do when we have new developments, they have to plant so many trees. It's mandated. So once again, we are a promoter of trees. So once again, we will work with you. We will work with you if you even grow trees, seedlings, and move into certain areas, from creek bottoms or whatever. Whatever you guys want to do, we will support you. We always have. So we just need more of a, what are you guys are going to do? What are you going to provide? And then we'll work with you to help get it done and everything.
Yeah.
But don't forget, like I said, the elementary school, they got a lot of ground over there that we planted in the past. Same thing with the middle school. They have a nice environmental program over at the middle school too. So work with those people too within our community. So there you go.
And would that be a thing of contacting the principals
Exactly.
of those schools?
Exactly. Contact the principals, and both of them are fantastic.
Okay.
And they work hand in hand. That's what's nice about the three schools being so close. All the principals know each other. All the environmental people know each other. So that's, you have a built-in network already. Just use the communications within the schools. And like I said, if you can include, like you see, you want to educate and include those young people about trees, planting them, make it fun for them, and then all of a sudden, some of them will catch on and they'll continue their whole life. So like I said, you guys are the senior kids, or young people, excuse me, and then the middle school, bring them on, bring the elementary people. Hey, elementary kids are great to work with. They will grab a shovel and they will be in there the whole time. So anyway, that's something, you said you want to educate the community. Don't think it's just a high school thing. Think about a Poolesville school system. That's my suggestion for you guys.
Do you want to ask about how we go about acquiring trees?
And so also, if you have any or opportunities or any time that you guys are planting trees, feel free to reach out to us and we can provide the volunteers if you guys were to need that, in any occasion, like you were saying with the new developments, we'd be happy to help you guys out with that, as a club.
Yeah, I also work closely with the Eagle Scouts. We just had one Eagle Scout. He did pollinator patch, and he also improved the environment, and he won international awards with it. So I do have a couple other Eagle Scout projects coming on board, and maybe you can partner with them, help them supply some of their trees or whatever, improving. I have one fellow I just met with him today. He's going to work in the water treatment area. We have a lagoon, and we want to try to improve that for the local waterfowl, bats, and bluebirds. So maybe there's some trees or something we could add into that too. And so I'll keep you guys informed. I'll give you my card before you guys go, so for contact reasons and everything.
How would people get in contact with you?
So we have our emails here. We also have an Instagram and Facebook.
I think the emails were in the email I got. But if you have written information that you'd like to pass out to them or to give to the town, that would be perfect.
Yes, of course.
Non-town related ideas for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And another thing to mention is we've in the past done Arbor Day things through Sustainable
Thank you.
Poolesville and with staff. And so that's another opportunity. So the Sustainable Poolesville also meets, that's another committee that you can present to and meet with. And they also have a lot of ideas and organizations that they work with. They are usually the fourth Wednesday of the month. They're not going to meet until August, until the end of August. But that's another opportunity for you to meet with that group, which again are very intertwined with the environmental groups and stuff in the town and in the area. So they might also have opportunities for you as well.
Yeah,
Thank
do you know
you.
how if it's possible, if we could like have a stand at Poolesville Day and like introduce our club to like maybe rising freshmen or like whoever's in the area?
So that we would have to talk to, and we can
And I
facilitate
still think
that.
you have time,
Yes, I think that's the first thing.
but you can't wait on that.
Yeah.
And you would have to, what I would do, I'd call town hall during work hours tomorrow. They will give you the people you need to contact to get a booth area.
Yeah. So reach out. It's the Poolesville Day Committee that governs Poolesville Day. But yeah, just call town hall or email us back with the email you sent initially to the town hall email and say, hey, I want to get in touch, and we'll facilitate that as well.
Because see, the town staff doesn't do that.
The committee has a really good website, Poolesville Day Committee,
Mm-hmm.
and there's usually a Poolesville High School kind of spot that's been at Dollar General recently with DJ and all of that. So that's a good place to get traction for the high school kids, middle school kids. And I think it's complimentary. You don't have to pay anything to have a booth for the high school section. I don't remember what it's
Falcon
called.
Lane or-
Falcon Lane,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
And also, Miss Cibrian is the one who usually organizes that whole entire ordeal, so you guys could just go and approach her when school starts.
And is your mission is just for Poolesville, or is it just to plant trees around this local
I
kind of
think we
area?
were thinking of first starting in Poolesville and then maybe expanding our reach to like nearby cities like Gaithersburg, Germantown,
Okay.
and so on.
Because Kaleva does tree plantings down on the farm, which is Dickerson.
Yeah.
I know I have a contact at the Glenstone Museum that does a lot of planting. They have a mission also to plant like 10,000 trees a year, so you can partner with them maybe. But that's a little bit out of Poolesville area, so I will pass your stuff on. Okay.
Thank
so
you.
much. Okay. If that's all, I think we're good.
You guys, good job, though. This
I have a few questions. You can
No,
go.
go ahead.
I was gonna first of all, thank you guys for coming up and presenting it to us. I mean, as Preston has mentioned, we have full support of all the students in town. Going through some of this, how many volunteers do you guys currently have in your club?
So we just started the club. This is like how we started. Our sponsor told us to reach out to you as like a first kind of contact kind of thing to get your approval to how to plant the trees in town. And then once school starts, we're going to get our volunteers from students.
Right, and I do think it's essential that you guys have talked about Poolesville Day and getting a booth. So I would reach out tomorrow, since it's Thursday. Just call town hall, and then they can guide and direct you where your booth can go. But you'll have, 7,000 people come through, and
Oh, it was 15,000 people last year.
what?
We got we got cell phone data,
Okay,
the
Election year,
geofenced.
election year.
Yeah.
election year. Ah. I think that was the day that I declared myself. So, but anyhow, no, the collaborations are great. You have a lot of support behind us. Like John was mentioning, make sure you have trees that are native, to it. And then if you're talking about the other projects with the bluebirds,
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. So I don't know what specific trees or environment that, certain species of birds nest in, so.
And we have, in the code is a list of native species, I think, John, right?
Yes.
And that we can pull that.
And then if they have any questions, they can always contact us.
Yeah. So then just follow up that way, and we'll get you your answers and what you want to do and where you want to do it and all of that stuff, and we can help on that front as well.
And one hint, when you plant in Poolesville, just plant in the fall time.
Yeah.
Summertime plantings require a lot of watering, a lot of labor. And normally, high school kids, once school's out, we won't give me volunteers watering trees. If you plant them in the fall time, November, even December, they winter out, it's fine. If you plant them in, late May and June, it's a tough start for trees. Just let you know. That's just from my experience in the town here.
Thank you so much.
Do we
Yeah,
have a
that's a good tip.
plan of what we've planted? Like, is there a map of Poolesville? We've planted this year, that this year?
Yes, we do have a one from years ago, but we've also gone through the process, like all of our ash trees were removed, and then we went to red maples and oak trees and stuff like that. So we don't have an updated one, and it's, once again, it depends on the disease in the area,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
things have changed.
But I think it would be interesting for them to look at and see what we've done historically, what is coming up.
Historically, we
understory.
planted non-native trees.
Yeah,
So we're trying to get away from that.
yeah.
So I
So
don't
what,
want to give them no bad ideas.
like historically, we planted this, and so to rectify that, our understory, we're trying to plant these natives
Yep.
that are saplings, but that will grow when those.
See, we also did another bad thing. We did a monoculture. We would have the same trees for 5 or 6.
Yeah,
And then what happened when disease hits?
It would
takes
hit
the
all
whole
of them.
block out. So we've been changing that up as trees pass. I go in and put a native tree, but it's a
Yeah.
different,
but tree mapping would be cool to
Yeah.
see.
Years ago, we had an Eagle Scout that went and counted all of our trees.
Yeah.
And labeled them in the parks.
Yeah.
So that has happened, but
Mm-hmm.
that was 15, 20 years ago.
They did that in DC. They
Yeah.
mapped all the trees.
Yeah.
Yep.
But they use software to do it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think they have some.
Niles
software
has
there.
it.
I have the GIS actually.
Now-
One of the things that we are working on is potentially including the trees in the GIS, the species and the size and such.
So if
Yeah.
you actually go down to Garrett Park, they have tag numbers for each tree. So you can go to their GIS base, and if you want to know what kind of tree it is, you go to that
Yeah.
GIS base
Mhm.
data and you look up that number. And tell you exactly
And
what
we
tree
do,
it is.
excuse me, sorry, John. We do have a tree arbor, and it's at Campbell Park. And we've had some trees pass on, so we've been waiting to, plant other trees. And I can actually hold off on that if you guys want to make that at maybe one of your projects this fall time.
Yeah, of course, that'd be great.
There's a lot of open room
Yeah.
in there, because like I said, we had trees that did not make it. And it's on my schedule, but it's one of those things, for a new group to get started, I think it'd be a good starting area. We own it, it's a tree arbor to start with, and there's plenty of room in there.
Yeah, maybe that could be like our first project.
I was getting ready to say, it's an easy start to get a good feel for it, it's open, we don't have to worry about right-of-ways or anything. We could get in there, you guys can go in an early survey what we lost, need, and what we can expand on, which we can do. This fall time.
Perfect.
Yeah, that'd
Something
be a
to think
great
about. If
project.
you guys want to do that, and like I said, this fall time, you can plan all the way up through December easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to, you start your club, you should by October, you should have kind of be able to get a plan up, and then November. And we've also, since it's ours, we could also probably order some of the trees if you guys can't just supply them. I can make orders and, order it up. So if we can get a plan together early enough, I can get the trees ordered, because I have a certain budget anyways, and I need to replace trees in there anyways.
Yeah,
So
that'd
that's
be
something else,
amazing.
we can work with also.
When should we reach out to you, like regarding that whole thing?
Late September, no later than October, because I got to get them in the ground.
Yeah.
Right.
So early October would be a good target date.
Okay.
Your school starts in August, you got first club meetings, and then, maybe you want to meet in September, and we can walk it,
Yeah.
get a plan, and then, by mid-October, hey, Mr. Camp, we want to do this, this, and this. I'll call Bernie Mims up, he'll order them up for us, and then we'll schedule a day that you can plant, and, we'll have their equipment, but we can do, work together. And maybe you have some kids from elementary school, middle school, because I don't know how big your club is. Is this going to be a high school club, or you're going to include, I'm just speaking out loud, whatever. And we can make, a good field day trip of it. That's
Yeah.
up for you guys, okay?
Yes.
Thank
And
you so much.
And that made me think of another thing, is reaching out yourself to the landscapers in town and things like that, to make connections with them, because, one, they might have projects, but also, this is something that you might be able to fundraise and things like that.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
another thing to mention.
How could we reach out to them?
I mean, a lot of them have websites and things, you just search, you can Google.
Fine Earth, I mean,
Yeah, Fine Earth.
Fine Earth, Bernie Mims.
Yep.
the owner. He's the biggest supporter of the kids in the town.
Yeah.
he's right down the street, right on Bud Road.
Fine Earth,
Fine Earth.
Fine Earth Landscaping.
He's awesome.
And you can throw my name in there. He won't yell too much.
Just cross your fingers when you do it, though.
Don't throw his name. Danger.
Okay.
It's good. It's a good.
Thank you guys so much for your support.
That's awesome.
Support is very valuable to us.
No, this is
Yeah.
really good. We love seeing young people active in the community, so it's really great. Younger than me, I mean.
Okay, perfect. We won't take up any more of your time.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yep, that's good. Just, you can leave it there if it's,
Do you guys want any more copies, or?
I think we got enough.
we got enough for us. If you want, you can also, when town hall is open, you can also come in and we have a place for community groups to put their stuff. Oh, do you want it to take it? Yeah, just give some to John and he'll put them over there.
Jaden.
Jaden.
I can take them because I can
Yes.
put them at locals.
Johnny, hold on.
He's still recovering from. Thank you guys again. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Old business.
So we don't have any old business other than to say, as I mentioned in the email to the board, we are going to have some more speed studies coming up. We're waiting to get some of the data from the county. Alan, a few others of our, and I know you're going to talk more about it.
Yep, I will.
Want to talk about a couple specific things. We went to the Maryland Municipal League Conference in June. One of the things that we came up with, some more vendors around speed signs and some stuff like that. So we're going to look at comparing prices and kind of things because we just sort of went with the first company when we did these first few, but for future planning purposes and what we're trying to do. There's also been some changes to state law around speed cameras and things like that. So we're going to explore a little bit what is applicable to Poolesville and how we might be able to utilize those things if we decide to go that way. So there's some exploration of things like that. So those are sort of two of the big takeaways that will address some of the staff work related to the board. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Preston. Superintendent.
We've had a busy month with rain. It's been good and bad. We've needed it. Something fierce. My trees. I told Wade back in May 1st, I said, we're going to have 100 dead trees. I thought for sure, because with the drought, winter drought, fall drought, man, they're doing too good. The limbs are starting to hang, the leaves are healthy in there. So I've been pruning, which I'm glad. I got to prune and trim and take care of the trees. So you've seen my crew out. The mowing hasn't stopped. So we've been really getting on that. It's just springtime busy or summertime busy, which is good. I mean, I enjoyed it. We just helped the fire. We put 500 yards of fence up at the fireworks last week, and so we've been busy. We helped the ladies over at the community garden. Took some mulch and stuff over there for them. We do like to support the community, as you know. It's one of our things that we've always been good about. Right there, and July 1st, we're moving forward. We have a new truck purchase. We have that in the works. We also have a mower coming on board. Replace one of our older mowers. We have a 10-year cycle on the trucks and a 7-year cycle on our mowers. And our mowers really do get wore. We mow so much now, and we have all these stormwater management plans that Montgomery County. These dry ponds, and when you're cutting on hills, it works the machines. It really does put like a torque on it. So 7 years is about we used to be able to get a little longer out of it, but just the volume of mowing has increased quite a bit on there. Sports wrapped up. I thought we had a real good year supporting the baseball, the soccer, and actually the girls' high school soccer team has just started over Perkins Park, so we'll stay on top of that, make sure. I think it's the girls' soccer team. I think they're running it for their practice, summer practice program and everything. Miss Grubb, Gina.
Yep.
So we're supporting them this summer again. Making sure they have a safe place to, a good place to practice and everything like that. So that's where we're at right now. And like I said, just everybody's having a good time, busy.
Awesome.
There you go.
Mr. Hobbs.
All right, I'm up. So as Niles had mentioned, we had a nice 4-day conference down Ocean City. Took in about 17 classes. Majority of, well, I shouldn't say majority, but every Parks Board class they had, I attended. Had an unbelievable, it was called the Economic and Community Impact of Outdoor Rec class, probably one of the top 2 or 3 classes that we had. The director of the Maryland DNR, Sandy Olek, was there, had a great, conversation with us all, after class about how we can generate some tourism back into Poolesville since we don't have the ferry, because everybody in Ocean City always talks about the ferry being closed. Every one of them, from whatever municipality. Because you got to think there's 157 municipalities that are at this conference for the whole entire state. We also talked to Senator Mary Beth Peraza. Again, very much knowledge of Parks Board is really her one of her strengths. We had a lot of vendors that came through, different newer options for equipment, playground equipment, so on and so forth. Let's see. A lot, so we're talking about a lot of the infrastructures of towns. Other towns had a lot of questions about pathways and all that, which was great because we always talked about the Trails Working Group and that, that project that continues to be in the background, but also not out of mind. So, but a lot of towns are looking for it's a lot of walkers, a lot of bikers, a lot of moms strolling with their kids, dogs, stuff like that. So, it was good on that level. I'm going to try to coordinate with City of Cumberland for a little field trip to go up and take a little bit of some of the newer streetscape projects that they just completed. I mean, I got some ties to Cumberland. It's kind of where, I knew Mayor Morris for a little while. So we're going to do a field trip eventually up there to take a look at that and also look at some of the park systems because they've built some new ones. And plus, they're talking about removing their dam now up in Cumberland, because what'll happen, you have the canals and the boaters that come down, kayakers, but they can't cross the dam. They gotta stop, get out, and they're losing revenue because people are just driving past it instead of staying in. So it's one big circle of trying to generate revenue since, obviously, Waits Ferry and 20% of that. So, I'm going to send out, I haven't got the links yet. A lot of times they had a lot of presentations for PowerPoints, but I've requested it several times. I haven't gotten them yet, but I'll reach out to a couple of the of our congressmen that were in attendance during that. So, but other than that, just again, hats off to the staff. I mean, I see them all the time at the school, all the, the right-of-ways, against the fence, stuff like that, cutting grass, but streets look good. Lights are all working. I'm that guy that drives down Hughes Road and every other road and be like, may get the light post number. So, but a lot of times it's the sensor, I think, during the day when they're on. But that's pretty much what I have for that. It was, again, one thing for you, Preston. Did the Eagle Scout finish all his, not yet?
Just not yet.
Okay. I mean, look, I know weather also was a factor as well.
Then
So.
then he got some family business going. He's coming back through. He needs to anchor and put some more gravel.
Okay.
We put everything out there. We're just waiting on him to finish up before I can sign off for him.
Okay.
I mean, overall, they're 90% done, but they need to finish.
Okay. Yep.
And I told them they have to drill holes, get some rebar on the 4x4s and stuff he used to anchor them
Yep.
down. He just set them. It doesn't work. The kids will move them. We got to anchor them. Anyways, I went over it with him.
That's fine. Okay.
Well, I like them though. I really like the locations of it, and I think it's going to be used once it, in.
And maybe living over by JPMS on the pond, I mean, I know it gets used every day and all day with the kids in their bikes riding down with their fishing rods and everything like that. So, a lot of times I go over and just talk to them and,
But it really has turned into the middle school, especially with the young fishing community, it's kind of a family community now because a lot of parents come by, they sit in their cars, the kids are going down. And I think that's what our park system's about, is just getting the whole family involved. And that really has grown.
And they really don't park on Tom Fox, but they'll park on my court.
Yeah,
I don't mind. It's good because obviously we have some, speeders around, but again, like you said, it is getting used more.
We could probably improve that parking there too. We have room, we can improve, what I'm saying, that gravel area.
Yep.
Guarantee, I didn't even think about that. But
So, I mean, we can get like I haven't really looked at it, 4 or 5 spots in there, but it's enough, like I said, most of the summertime, it's the young men and just riding their bikes and mom and dads come in and minivan drop them off but like I said, I've seen parents just sit on the bank and just read books and.
That's it, yeah.
And relax.
On a side note, I have been dumping some fish this week. I don't know if you guys have been Facebooking. I've had good evenings. When I have a good evening, the kids in town I've stocked three ponds this week.
Okay.
And so, anyway, but I think it's paid off. We really do have a nice community, and I think our fishing tournament really showed. We had 41. I said 41 kids, but the parents. We had hundreds of people out there. So I think promoting that, the skateboard park is another huge. I don't see that as much of a full family, but it's a really younger community use is really big on that. And we just gave them another addition. You think about it.
100%.
Yeah, and I think there's a potential for maybe a third phase later on. Talk about a bowl or something like that, which I would like to see. I know we got to wait for the
Yeah, that's a long off.
Yeah. But I'm
thing
just
at this
saying,
time.
well, you took
Yeah.
14 years.
Oh,
to
absolutely.
see the first part, and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
10 years to second. So I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
no,
that.
yeah.
But I would like to see it continue on,
Right.
since it really is a high use park, part of it.
Right.
And the pickleballers, they get their courts painted up second week of August.
Okay.
They'd be finished over at Stevens Park. And it was 8. We're taking it down to 6. So we have, for safety concerns, they were too close. So anyway, so we are. And then we have 2 nets. And I need to contact the high school. I think we're going to donate their movable nets to the high school. Because I know they have a team or going to have teams.
Yep.
And these are movable. They could use it in the gym, roll it in and out or whatever. So anyway, that's what we're at right now. Busy park system, which is good.
It is.
All for us.
It is. And listen to, again, back to the MML conference, listen to a lot of the municipalities. They are lacking a lot. One of the towns, Sykesville, I mean, they just hired their first parks
Coordinator.
ever. And
Yep.
I grew up in Sykesville, and I'm like, I'm talking about parks, and like, well, just right outside of town limits, right outside town limits, right outside town limits. But, they don't know. And it was part of one of the open forums we had for the MML Parks and Recreation Association, which I ironically joined as well with Preston. So, but it's again, look, I'll do the legwork. You just, you're the pretty face.
In other words, I've been getting a whole bunch of emails.
So, but, it goes to show you how far along Poolesville is versus other towns with a lot more population than us. So it's wonderful to hear the feedback from other municipalities and the credit. And, a lot of them come up to us and with all the commissioners that were there and discuss and spitball and brainstorm because they just don't have that ability to, and the relationships. And our relationships with our county officials and so on and so forth is pretty strong. So it's very strong because a lot of them don't even speak with their county council members, which is odd, but we're all talkers anyhow. So. And with that, I will stop talking.
All right, anybody have anything else? No? All right, your motion?
I move to adjourn the meeting.
I like it.
Second? All right.
Oh, you talkers down there.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 6-0. 7:35.
You guys have something else you guys wanted to talk about, or?
Just wondering if we could get a picture